unequivocal that warming of the globe is happening and that the dominant force behind it was human activity, particularly the burning of fossil fuels. Without mincing words, and in its starkest warning, IPCC report said that unless strong emission reduction measures are put in place across the world in the coming years, the likelihood of temperature increase as compared to industrial age levels remaining below 2 degrees Celsius are less than likely. The 2-degree increase is deemed a tipping point beyond which scientists believe dangerous levels of climate change would be triggered off, disrupting the Earth's ecosystem. The report approved by 195 governments in Stockholm points out that to avoid global warming of more than 2 degrees Celsius, we will have to reduce emissions. In order to arrive at general consensus on how to reduce emissions, the UN has been organizing climate negotiations since mid-1990s. The high point was the 1997 Kyoto Protocol, by far the world's only global treaty legally obliging countries to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. Though Kyoto set emission norms for countries historically responsible for the climate problem, the target could seldom be scaled because of lack of active involvement by member countries. The world's biggest emitter in 1997, the United States, never ratified Kyoto, and the world's biggest emitter today, China, was treated as a developing country that did not have to cut its carbon pollution. As a result of this irony, emissions kept soaring to endanger the environment and the planet. The Copenhagen Convention of 2009 was supposed to come out with something better, but it produced an accord that urges governments to make voluntary emission pledges to keep temperature from rising beyond 2 degrees Celsius. Although pledges have been made, they do not collectively meet the 2-degree target. In 2011, countries pledged to come up with a new legally binding climate agreement by 2015. The French President, Mr. Hollande, has offered to host a global meeting in Paris under the UN aegis in 2015. How far and fast the stakeholders of the world economy, including the emerging ones such as India and China, besides the developed ones, usher in a shift to a low-carbon economy, would eventually decide the climate change issue for the overall benefit of mankind. New Delhi's move to announce unilateral emission cuts in 2009 is a step in the right direction. So is the focus of several states like Gujarat, Rajasthan and Tamil Nadu on solar power. But more needs to be done. You are listening to today's commentary entitled UN IPCC Hoist Red Signals on Climate Change, scripted by G. Srinivasan, journalist, and read by Surya G. Yadav. This is the German Overseas Service for All India Radio. Before we move on, here are the program highlights for tomorrow. This is in Australia and New Zealand continuing again at 15:30 hours IST, that is 1000 hours UTC. We'll begin the transmission with the news, followed by the commentary at 10:10 UTC. A program folk songs will go on air at 10:16 UTC, and then you can enjoy the program Fits for Yours at 10:30 UTC. Indian pop will come your way at 10:45 UTC, and the review of the Indian press will go on air at 10:50 UTC. We'll broadcast the news once again at 10:55 UTC, and the transmission will be closed down at 1100 UTC. Coming up next for you is a message by Ban Ki-moon, UN Secretary General, on International Day for Disaster Reduction.